Red alert. Set an intention. Go to Salon track.
Captain's log supplemental. Commander Chakotay was injured. But I want you to know, you can use logic to justify almost anything. Janeway out.
Good evening, fellow travelers. I am character actor Jeffrey Combs, and tonight I will be playing the role of Salon co-host Stan Williams. Ahoy, hoy, friends, and welcome to the Salon. Get excited. We are talking about Star Trek Voyager Season 6, the back half, the rear end, as it is, and we will be having a thumb war, as we are wont to do. Get excited, but before you get too excited and we talk about this living fast and saloning season, all of the podcast things. We are live on YouTube on Thursdays at 6:30 p.m. Pacific and all of the podcast platforms the next day. So you can find us on said platforms at Salon Trek. You can also find us on Bluesky and Twitter. Remember that? Or Instagram at the Salon Trek, at Salon Trek for most of them, at the Salon Trek for Instagram, because we're just a little dash of annoying. All of the podcast places the next day, and on Patreon, if you can throw a couple of bucks our way, we would certainly appreciate it. It helps defray the costs of the salon. And for $2 a month, you get named in our end credits. For $5 or more, you get bonus content. We've got a lot of fun things planned. A saloner will be taking a leave of absence later this summer, but don't you worry. You're still going to get your dose of bullshit. He's going to be doing some really fun Patreon stuff, so you won't want to miss out on that. Throw a couple of dollars our way, and he'll be talking about that in the coming weeks. So get excited. All right, it's time to talk about STLV. We're going to be there. We hope you are as well. Let us know in the comments if you will be. And now it is time to beam in the crew, starting with my co-host, Trevor. How you do?
Warptastic, how are you?
I heard that gulp, and it sounded grainy.
Do you need to do it again?
And full of warp core glitter.
Is that something you're into? I don't understand.
We can explore that later, platonically. Speaking of platonic, here's Will. How are you?
I'm okay. How are you guys?
Okay. Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't give you much. Plutonic threw me off. I was like, everything I wanted that came to mind was something really bitchy, and I was like, don't say that.
It's on brand.
Speaking of everything we ever wanted, here's Joanne. How are you, Joanne?
I don't understand what's going on, but I'm well.
Hey, you know who usually doesn't either? Here's Krista. How are you?
Lost in confusion.
In the best way. And the one who confuses me the most, here's Benji. Benji, how are you?
Full screen, full screen, full
Closer.
screen.
No. Let's get a look at those
I'll do
pores,
that.
Diva.
You got enough.
I could never get enough Benji.
Aw.
That's what they say.
Anyway, y'all, we're going to talk about another half season of Star Trek Voyager. Get excited. There's some interesting episodes in this batch. We're nearing the end. They're tired. There's some interesting things happening. Some really good things, some not so good things. We'll get into it. But before we do, there's something fun we like to do on the Salon. We do things a little bit different here. Before we kick things off, we like to start by setting an intention.
This is obvious, but don't forget to set an intention when you light it, or you're just going to be wasting the wax.
Indeed, we do. To set an intention tonight, I thought it would be fun, in honor of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. I thought it would be fun if we went around the room and share a real world celebrity, a contemporary celebrity that we thought it would be fun to plop into an episode of Voyager in lieu of this bullshit. For example, what if Oprah beat the shit out of Seven?
You get a car.
You get a fist. You get a fist. You get a fist.
You get a Delta Flyer. You get a Delta Flyer.
It's a curb stomp.
It's one of my favorite things.
As always, I will start us off by sharing that I thought it would be fun if Ina Garten showed up
Oh no.
as a Delta Quadrant celebrity chef who taught Neelix how to finally cook. So you can get your Leola root from the hydroponics bay, or store-bought is fine. So anyway, William, who are you plopping in, and why?
Oh, the entire cast of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
Yes.
I think it would be really fun to just throw,
Yes.
just like, oh, they arrive, they're drunk, they're fighting, no one knows what to do, everyone's in confusion, and then they leave. And then Andy Cohen comes in later, like a cue, and then has a whole moment with everyone, and everyone's confused. Everyone's like, is this woman broke? Why is this one a high-functioning alcoholic? Is this one's husband gay? Like, we get a lot of that. So I think that would be really fun. We've gotten Muppets, we've gotten musicals, we've gotten animated show crossovers. I need a Star Trek Real Housewives crossover. I'll also take Summer House.
So it's like the episode Muse, really.
But good.
But good.
Like that, but well
It's
executed.
entertaining in some way. Yeah.
Speaking
My
of well-
dilithium crystals aren't good here. Why? Why won't you take my dilithium crystals?
Prostitution.
Talk about your husbands. What are you doing? Talk about the
I
husband.
made it nice.
Mhm.
I made it nice. That's not Beverly Hills. But
That's
Okay.
that's
Okay. It was worth the adventure. Benji.
You can tell it's Pride Month because all our examples are like Bravo-based crossovers. Mine is Richard Simmons, and he annoys the shit out of the Rock to the extent that he has to break out the fire extinguisher, a la that David Letterman incident in the 90s. Probably happened around the same time.
But Richard actually beats up the Rock. That would be amazing.
Yeah.
Or just wears them out, just by like running
Prob-
around.
yeah,
and
prob-
jamming
Oh,
the
Just
sound.
just like mentally exhausted.
Not where I thought you were going with that, but sure.
I mean,
Krista.
it's not just for one episode. I'm gonna replace Chakotay with with Betty White playing Rose Nyland. And every episode, she opens up her little woven bag of butter and Danish and various pastries, and gives a nice like analogy to what's currently happening story about something that happened with a cow in St. Louis.
Captain, can I ask a dumb question?
And
Better than anyone I know.
And eventually she replaces everyone on the ship as everyone's favorite mother.
I'm not mad about it. Joanne.
Yes, William.
Well, Voyager's beat me to it. Of course, it's RuPaul. And instead of Fairhaven, she's like, fuck that. Welcome to the workroom, bitches. And you literally have to lip sync for your life.
It's Drag Race. It's just a deadly game.
Nice.
I love it.
And the captain gets
Drag
into it.
Race Delta Quadrant.
Yeah, the captain gets as into it as she did Chaotica.
Oh, Janeway and yeah. It's Daniel.
I love all of these and I want to see them. But I've got two that I've come, well, technically three. The first one, I think Tom Hanks and will be replacing Egypt's father, because that's just hilarious that America's our dad is a monster. If you know, you know. And the other fun one that I thought of, two incredible actors who are still around, still doing great work, but like peak 2000 A-listers, couldn't get enough of them, did not get enough of them on screen together. I will be putting them into Live Fast and Prosper, an episode I want to be very upfront, does not deserve their talent. However, this would be fucking amazing. Tell me this wouldn't be incredible.
You coming for me?
Yeah. And the intentions are set.
Wait, what was the third one?
Tom Hanks.
Oh, technically
Nice.
3. Got it. Sorry. Okay, now the intentions are set. Now that Trevor's caught up to the actual show. I'll be all right.
So good. Well, friends, now that the intentions are set, it's time to talk about this rear end of a Star Trek Voyager season. The second half. We're going to do something fun tonight. As you all may be aware, and if you're not, we are about to do a thumb war. What is a thumb war, you're asking?
I was going to ask that.
Oh, well, hey, great question, Trevor. A thumb war is when ordinarily just Trevor gives a Googled synopsis of an episode. It's terrible. He didn't write it. And we're going to hear it. So we're going to do that. But we are also going to throw in a fun synopsis from the siren of SETI Alpha 5 herself, Krista. And then we will discuss the episodes and, of course,
discuss,
vote on them in the scientific manner in which we choose. A thumb up, a thumb down, or a thumb sideways. So get excited, y'all. It is that time. Trevor, prepare to fire torpedoes, please.
Star Trek Voyager Season 6, Episode 14, Memorial. Captain Janeway worries about crew members who are suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder after they return from an exploration. Thanks, Google. I'm sorry, Will, but I just got a flash of your mother asking, "Is this a Star War?" That's what I got
This
from
was Star War. Yeah,
They went on an
very much.
exploration.
They went on an exploration. Yeah,
They did, like you do. So that is my terrible synopsis provided to you by some form of artificial intelligence. For a much more informed and potentially traumatizing in and of itself synopsis, I kick it over to the siren.
Okay. Memorial. The boys test their man skills while on walkabout and return PTSD. Opie gets a TV. B'Elanna questions her continued attraction to a 14-year-old ensign in a man suit. And everyone learns an important lesson about physical memorials and history.
That was beautiful. Stan, why don't you take this one?
I mean, I think we're done. Like that.
Thank you all for coming. Goodbye.
Nailed it in one. Yeah. So this episode is really interesting. It's filled with characters I can't stand. And it puts them all on display. Chakotay. This has all the bad ones. This has Chakotay. This has Neelix. This has Harry Kim. This has Tom. But there are some interesting nuggets in here. I think it's really poorly done, but there is a profound message about PTSD and remembering atrocities. Like watching this in a 2026 lens is interesting because we've got people in state legislatures and in our federal government trying to wipe away real history of this country because it makes them slightly uncomfortable. So they say. What's actually happening is a whole lot of racists who were alive during the 1960s civil rights movement are worried that their children and grandchildren are going to learn about just how awful they really were. And that's why they're trying to rewrite history, change ban books, change curriculums, etc. And so there was watching this episode, there's something interesting about keeping the memory alive. There's also some it's really not done well, but there's some interesting things here that they attempt to do around PTSD. It's very real, particularly PTSD is not even just a wartime thing. It's post-traumatic stress. So it doesn't, lots of people have PTSD who haven't been to war. They've gone through something traumatic. And so there's some interesting bits here, but it's all the worst characters and it just kind of falls flat. There was an interesting attempt here though. Those are my thoughts.
It's weird that they chose to the timing is strange. Like this feels like something that TOS could have and sort of has done, not specifically this story, but like touching on the negative impact of war. It was a recurrent theme in TOS, but like this feels like it would have been maybe better executed significantly after Voyager or significantly before, but during it just kind of falls flat and feels strange. Also, to your point, it's all of the people that we're not thrilled to see all mushed together, and it feels like it would have been a better Janeway episode. Those are my thoughts. William?
I get this conflated with a third season episode. Like, they did this already. Mm-hmm. And then, but this isn't even very good. It's like, we saw this. I like the idea of it, but they did it already. And it's like, did they not realize they did this 3 seasons ago? Not even recycling a story. It's like they almost did this verbatim. I was like, why did this happen?
Story by Brandon Braga. That's why.
Of course. Well, yeah, obviously.
One of his 3 ideas.
Yeah, but it's so clumsy. It's such a weird episode. It's like one of those episodes they wrote halfway through, we didn't have a story with Harry. We didn't have a story with Chakotay. We didn't have a story with this. So let's just put them all in this one episode. Let's put them all in there. And there's something there, but I don't think Star Trek at this time had the capability. Television did not have the capability. This franchise didn't have the capability to discuss this in a way that doesn't make it seem like they're just breezing past it. It's like someone opened a LaCroix of PTSD and left it in another room. It's like, that's not what we did here. You're like, oh, there's a whiff of PTSD, but you're like, oh, but it's kind of, I don't get it. This was I always think of this episode as unlike the other episode. The 2 are in my brain linked. And they should have just linked them to each other, which would have been.
They were both bad.
Yes, they're both terrible. So why make, buy one when you can buy 2 at twice the price, So why do this? It's just weird. It's like a filler episode.
And they spent the money to go on location for this one.
Yeah.
What?
They must have been, we got to get out of the soundstage for at least one this season. And
I guess.
This one's
But Joanne's comment in the chat, it's schisms but war, has me thinking, no, a metal table.
It kills me every time. For those who don't know, rewatch Schisms from TNG. They're in the holodeck trying to piece together their collective dream. And it's so funny, again, from a 2026 lens now with AI bullshit. Deanna Troi asks for a wooden table to be turned into a metal table, and a torture chair table appears. It's like, what? How is that a metal table? It's amazing.
Something you'd see in the back room of the Eagle. Like, what is that? Like, damn, bitch. Like, Anyway.
Yeah. It's the Inner Light
War. Yeah.
It's literally like 12 different episodes, but war.
Yeah.
What? Oh, I can't. Okay. I say we just go to thumbs on Memorial because I don't feel like we're going to say anything positive about this one. Yeah, we are as one. Well, thank God we're on to something more positive. Season 6, episode 15, Tsunkatsu. Why is there a T there? When 7 of 9 is captured by alien warriors, she is forced to fight a Pandari gladiator as a contestant in a deadly game. That synopsis is way more interesting than the actual episode. But for a fun spin on said synopsis, we go back to the siren.
The gang enjoys a shore leave, which unfortunately results in a visit to a 21st century presidential White House. 7 exchanges her constrictive skin suit for competitive physical calisthenics in a halter top, and everyone learns a valuable lesson about gambling with grifters.
You mentioned the halter top, but not the harness. Whatever.
I mean, it's all
on Pride Month.
bad.
It's all the H garments. This episode has everything.
It's Agent Provocateur on bad. It's Timo, Agent Provocateur.
Because this episode is so closely connected to the theater, I thought we would toss this one to Will first.
Wow. On Pride
Sorry.
Month.
It's a hate
This
crime.
episode fucking sucks with a T in front of it. This
It sucks.
TSUCKS. This episode, I remember very distinctly in one of the Star Trek magazines, if anyone else recalls, there was like a feature about this episode. Thank you so much. Fucking sucks. There was a feature about this episode, how they were like, oh, he's like a fan of Star Trek. We brought him in. Like, bitch, it's like a fever dream. It's like so like watching it like Star Trek is not cool. Like in the sense of the word, like it's very cerebral at its best. You know, we try to make it cool, but it doesn't really last very long. It ends up being Star Wars. So like, this is like the most uncool episode that this franchise has ever produced. Like it belongs in the pantheon of like Code of Honor in terms of like bad. Like, let's not talk about this episode ever again. Let's shelve it with a T. Like, let's shelve this. Let's remove it from streaming. I just don't think this is like, it's bananas. Like watching, I was like, why is he beating her up? It doesn't make any fucking sense. It's just like, oh, we have to do a fight. And then it's like, you know, ooh, we're going to do MMA because that's kind of hot and fun with the kids. And it's just like, it's like it's like them trying to jump this shark, but the shark was on skis behind them and ate them mid jump. It's so bad. Like not even like a fun, like campy way. It's just bad. It's just bad. It's bad. Like it was a hard watch. Yes. Very sexy with the T. Correct. Joanne's really loving this in the chat. You got to watch this on YouTube because she's cranking this bitch is out. Joanne coming through. It's bad. I would have rather have watched like that MTV like celebrity wrestling, like that claymation show with the cast of Star Trek Voyager fighting like like WWE characters than this. This is bad. Like I can't. Anyway, someone stop. This.
Wasn't it an absolute ripoff of a movie of the same theme where people compete in a cage match, and I guess the only difference is it wasn't really a cage? Like that's the fucking twist.
Plot twist. The audience is fake.
Yeah, they're in a cage match with good taste, is what they're in a cage match. Which
That's the fucking twist.
I would be shocked if this is what you were thinking of, but they did do this on X-Men. Mojo steals the X-Men to fight in an arena.
Just saying, late 90s Rock could be an X. Yeah. I mean, he could like just push the button.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, I thought you were about to say could be an X-Men. He could get it.
Problematic gay alert.
I was gonna say all of those things. Like
I
all of
almost
those
added him to that, but I couldn't find a good enough still for it.
He could be a sex man.
I'd suck him off with the T in front of it. T-U-S-C-K.
Suck him.
To suck him off. Yeah. And do that. But that's about it. Yeah. Me. That's about it. But I would if you asked me, did you see that episode? Sorry, but like, no, stop talking. We're not talking about that.
This episode would have been so much better if it was literally anything else. But I'm thinking of there's a 7th season episode dealing with the death penalty where this where this guest actor could have played an interesting role. What if he was, but maybe instead of the death penalty, what if it was sex? What if it was sex work? Any number of things that would have been more interesting. I'm thinking of what was the one last season with Harry Kim and the ladies who were programming men to be their potential mates because that was the only way they could reproduce.
Right, because all women want to reproduce. Can we just add Betty White as Rose Nyland?
Just saying.
Of 7 in the case.
There are other
swap Betty
ways.
White out with the Rock's character, and that's an episode. Swap
out of 7.
B. Arthur. Put B. Arthur in as the Rock's character.
This is what I'm talking about.
That's fair. Yeah, Dorothy
Blanche
is the
Devereaux
Rock.
in the Muse. We've got this whole thing covered.
Yeah.
Were you thinking of Favorite Son, Trevor?
Yes, I was thinking of The Rock in Favorite Son as opposed to like literally any other, like why we brought him in and made him a wrestler was just like lazy.
Yeah.
If you want to bring him in, make him interesting.
Because like, I mean, it's obviously for the cross promotion, right? Like,
sure.
Duh. But like, you can cross promote him at like you're saying, make him a soldier with the
put him in Memorial.
Yeah, put him in Memorial. Yeah.
Just stop making him.
This would be the RuPaul episode. Yes, Joanne. Yes.
This is where it needed to be. Anyway,
it's time to Sukatsi for your life.
I think it's time to show me your thumbs for Sukatsi.
Even
Also,
Jeffrey Combs gonna.
Did we need to count that? Mom, it's a thumbs down. Like
I would actually grow balls for this.
You haven't already?
With a T.
Spalls.
Yeah. They're very small.
Yeah,
I would expand. I would expand on them.
More
I
balls.
would give them the pump.
It's huge.
With a silent T.
Season 6, episode 16. Collective. When Chakotay's shuttle is captured by a Borg ship, Janeway enters into hostage negotiations with a dangerous gang of dangerously erratic Borg children. That's what the Google machine had to say. I would love to hear what the siren has to say.
Okay. The gang encounters a Borg cube. 7 eats an additional episode, and everyone learns a valuable lesson about the biological imperative that proves women must breastfeed and nurture children because resistance is futile against one's very own ovaries. Sweet dreams, complex, 3-dimensional characters.
It's beautiful. I'll kick this one off by sharing that I enjoy aspects of this episode. I like this episode as a way of adding characters to the show. I hate that we add characters to the show that we basically pay no attention to after this episode. It's a weird episode for Seven. We 2 episodes ago we were talking about post-traumatic stress, and now we're sending Seven to a Borg cube to negotiate for the release of drones. Like, what? Harry bonking his head and being unconscious in a conduit in a ship that shouldn't have a conduit is stupid. Like, he's in a full-on Jeffries tube. Where the fuck did that tube, where does it go? Like, why do we even have a tube here? Why don't you just have a panel that shows the things that he's... Anyway, it's a one-story shuttle. Listen, there's also the ultimate continuity issue at the end of this episode, which is what the fuck happened to the baby?
Where's that poached baby?
Where's the baby? I would like to know. Somebody show me this baby. That's all I got.
I want to like this episode. It's funny, Will, you said jump the shark with the last one, because I feel like this is like introducing kid characters is like the quintessential jumping the shark for a lot of shows.
Yeah, it's like when they introduced that like cousin in the Brady Bunch, and everyone's like,
yeah,
who the fuck is this?
Oliver.
Yeah. Oliver, thank you. Yeah, it's very that. It's like, ooh, let's throw a couple kids in.
Yeah.
Well, this episode, this series, the reason they got to the Alpha Quadrant so quickly is because they kept jumping sharks. This whole season, they're jumping sharks all the way to the rest of, just leaps and bounds, jumping.
And I want to like these characters because they will have some interesting things. I think they do too much with Icheb and not enough with the others. I hate that they, like, I get it, but like it's so tropey and sexist to make Seven be a mother figure to them. Like it makes no sense. Like they should have paired them with multiple other characters. That would have been really interesting to see how B'Elanna works with Mazadi, how Neelix works with the twins or whatever. But like Seven working with Icheb from a science lens could work, but it was like, oh, let's make our bombshell do what all women have to do, be a mother. Fuck you, Rick Berman. Fuck you, Brandon Braga. Fuck off. Like, this is already the Seven show unnecessarily. Like, blah. Like, why? Will?
Yeah, yes, I agree that it's sexist to have her become like a maternal figure. I think it just happens too late in the series. Like, this should have happened like a season prior. Like, not have her playing like maternal stuff, like this maternal thing where she needs to talk to them, but like help her, like using the children as a way to like discover her own individuality and humanity through them in some way. I'm not being eloquent about it, but like this late in the series is just so weird that they're introducing new characters. Like, if you introduce them later or earlier, then you could have like these Borg kids that are growing up on the ship that they found, and like we could like integrate Icheb more, who I think, despite the actor being an absolute piece of shit, is like an interesting character. Like, I think he's I find him very the character very captivating, like very interesting. But like there's some, and then they just get lost. Like, they basically say that the baby got returned to their people off screen because they didn't know what to do with it. And it's like, because they knew they only had 7 seasons, so they're like, we got to keep this moving. But like, it would have been interesting to do this. But this is another reason why the reset button on the series is so detrimental to it as a whole, because this would have been nice to have seen through this, where maybe they pair them up with a couple, like one of the baby with someone who can't conceive, or someone who is like wants a child. It's like, I'll raise this, like move them to an adoptive family and have like kids on the ship. But like, it's a very weird, that it's an interesting idea that gets lost in the fact that there's a sexist undertone to this whole thing, that like even sexy bombshells can be moms, where it's like, yes, your place is in the kitchen, but you gotta show your whole tits and ass while doing it. And it's like, okay, but then like there's
Joe Carey with the baby.
Yes, exactly.
Joe Carey should have stepped up. I will raise the child.
Yeah, it's like the movie Stepmom, but not good. It's I love the movie. I'll defend Stepmom forever. But
who is trashing Stepmom? That movie is
It's a good
gem.
no one. It's incredible. It's incredible.
Movie slaps.
Incredible. I always wanted that cape. Anyway.
Oh.
I did. I wanted the cape. I didn't know magic, but I wanted the cape. Yeah, it's just weird. I think it would have been interesting if we saw this, but like it happens, I think, too late in the series, and because of the reset button, they can't have a baby on the ship.
It's also
like they can't
another Borg. It's another Borg
Yeah.
thing, even after being thrown. Like Kess literally
Clear
throws
path.
them 10 years
outside of
past
it.
them.
Yeah. So
Or did you?
Or did she?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't make a lot of sense. It should have happened earlier. Like these writers should have contained themselves to just doing Borg stuff in that season. They go, "This is the Borg season. We will not do Borg anytime after this. Here's all the Borg stuff.
Yes,
every Borg episode, we're gonna Mama Borg.
Yes,
the smorgasbord. Like we're doing all of it. Eat as much of the Borg as possible. We're doing it now." But they didn't do that. They're like, we're kind of thin. Ratings are dipping. Borg episode. I was like, fuck. Like, no. Like, if you take every Borg episode and smushed into one season, that would be interesting. But they didn't do that. Through the back, yeah. She did in fury. She's like, fuck you, bitches. Threw him back. Anyway.
I'm going to be controversial yet brave and say this episode would have been brilliant had it led to Neelix finding his calling as the original idea for Geordi LaForge in TNG before they got into production, which was him as the school teacher of the ship. Like have the Borg suddenly fix the replicators. We never need to grow our own food again. We're good, because why replicating broccoli costs us more energy than warping across the galaxy, I will never understand. But get him out of the kitchen and have him actively involved in raising the ship's children or educating the ship's children, being the caretaker for the ship's children. He gets the baby. Like, make him an interesting part of the crew by making him part of the generational story that was supposed to be Voyager. And then this wouldn't suck so much. I mean, they're almost out of that territory, so probably it's probably.
Wait, is that why? Wait, but I put in the chat. Is that why there's no kids on the ship? They're like, we can't have kids because of Neelix.
I mean, they have to be 700 meters away at all times.
If we have kids, they have to live on a shuttle that's being tractor beam behind the ship.
There was a report that he was in a relationship with a 2-year-old.
Yeah, because we can't put him in the. We can't put Neelix on the shuttle because we need him to cook. So we put all the babies just being in the shuttle, towed behind the ship.
Here's the solution.
Is that what happened?
Child labor in the hydroponics bay. That way you can get rid of Neelix.
There we go.
Listen. Anyway, I think that would have made it more interesting. As it stands, it's like, hey, let's make this ship generational, but not, because no continuity. Also, Manu Intiraymi is a horrible person.
Thumbs for child or collective?
Just for that one little Borg girl, the one little rebel.
Listen, those Borg kids could have been so interesting.
So interesting.
And had so much more potential than each other.
The whole fucking thing from season 1 could have been interesting.
They could have done their version of Rascals with those fucking kids.
They should have just done an interesting show instead.
There could be a scene where Seven goes to Janeway and goes, "See, I wasn't such a problem after all, right, bitch? Like, not these fucking Borg kids. It wasn't that bad."
Season 6, episode 17, Spirit Folk. When Paris and Kim are imprisoned for using black magic in a I'll say it. Why's it got to be black? In a holographic Irish town, the Doctor tries to secure their release by posing as a priest. And now we know why the Doctor wasn't allowed near children. Krista.
Okay, Spirit Folk. Katie Janeway's return to Fairhaven to visit her bespoke sex toy, referred to here as Michael, goes awry as Tom Paris completes his transformation into Opie with help from a Ford Model T and a cow named Maggie. leading to the Halo inhabitants on a wildly feral witch hunt for spirits, lucky charms, while B'Elanna exhales repeatedly when asking to the void, why can't we turn the fucking thing off? Everyone learns a valuable lesson on the links each will go to maintain their feelings and made-to-order sex toys. Also, there's a strong possibility that Michael's missing wife is named Goody Proctor.
Joanne, why don't you kick this one off?
Oh my God. So we've already established, thanks to Matt, that Trek hates the Irish. So we all agree there. So this is, Irish prejudice and bigotry part duh. And again, this is my a tale as old as time. Conceptually, I find this very interesting. My boyfriend wrote this, and it's all very sinners in the hand of an angry God. But unlike that, nobody learns anything about themselves. It just, I don't know. The premise, I didn't understand. None of this made sense. I get it, the technobabble, but sometimes the technobabble, you go, okay, they thought about this, right? And that makes sense. None of this makes sense to me. How did this happen? Or why was this the result of them? Why was some kind of sentience or consciousness the result of the shit being on all of the time? They should have just been glitching. They shouldn't have been mad at Tom and Harry and them. They should have been freaking out at each other, because one day Maggie wakes up and she only has one arm, and then the other guy is sitting at the bar and has a big old hole in his stomach. That they could have gone whole body horror kind of freak out. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
If they weren't going to do the morality lesson. So I don't know. I was just like, this is dumb, but conceptually very interesting. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I'm biased because, like I said, my boyfriend wrote it, but I'm also just like, none of this makes any sense, friend. None of this makes any sense at all.
Power and majesty, praise to the King.
William. It's a good Irish name. William.
Okay, yeah.
Take it away, Will.
Let me tell you a story. That's all I can do. I'm like the Lucky Charms leprechaun. That's it. That's all I can do. I hope we interview Brian Fuller, because I want to ask him, girl, what the fuck? What girl, what were you on? How can I get some? What's the plug? I need to know.
The Transwarp round is beautifully designed for this episode.
Oh, Strugs.
Yes. Yes. Where is it? There's an interesting idea here about this being on all the time and what's going on, but it felt like there was an idea, and then they went, oh, right, wrote myself in a corner, techno babble the way out of it, which the rest of Voyager is renowned for the techno babble, Deus Ex Machina, I'll create a warp bubble using a blah blah blah, and this episode is so confusing because it's how did we get here? How did we get out of it? How did we get out of it?
Warp
it doesn't.
Particles.
It's warp particles, and then shoot them from my pussy into the sun. It's I don't understand why any of this worked, but it doesn't. It's such a weird episode. If they leaned into this would have been a good example of when exactly Hole period. Hole will save us. Blessed be the Hole. This is a good opportunity for Voyager to get weird. I think there is a struggle for the writers and the people producing the show where because the franchise is tired, they really couldn't do anything under the thumb and scornful eye of Braga and company. Rick Berman could not do anything weird with the franchise. Like, this is a good opportunity for them to do something fucking weird with the holodeck, and like see if these people who are gaining sentience like the Doctor did, because this Fairhaven program's been on for too long, and how it's glitching because it's not designed to do this, and the ship can't operate this town at this level, that they start like experiencing horrific things happening to them and then realizing it. Like, oh, my arm is gone. I'm glitching. Like, my family's gone. I have a whole, like, her horrifying body horror that could happen. You can't do that. And then there's like
so many holes. So many holes.
But let's just throw warp particles at it, and just B'Elanna will science her way out of it, or Seven will do something, and then everyone's fine. It's just this episode is so fucking weird. And again, it's one that I kind of got conflated with another one. I was like, did this happen? It's like a TNG episode. They kind of just remixed.
It also kind of did this season, Fairhaven.
Yes, it's very similar. It's just like, let's just remix and do it.
5 episodes earlier.
Isn't it? It's a lot like the one where the holodeck becomes the entirety of the
Killing Game.
Yeah,
the killing game.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, was on the same set.
Yes.
Yes.
A good place.
It's on the Universal backlot. If you jump on the trolley, you can see it. It's great.
I also just want to add Star Trek's obsession with romanticizing romanticizing the past. Like, I feel very much like Sisko feels about Vic's Lounge. Like, this, I mean, I get it. It's in the 24th century and they can do it right, air quotes, but like, there's not a whole lot of our history you can go back to. Like, there's a comedian, I'm sorry, I can't remember their name to give him proper credit, but his joke is, I love, the thing that I love about being white is that I can time travel to any time. However, if I were black, I could only go back 2 years. Like, it's a good commentary, or maybe I'm royally screwing this up, but the point is the past is fucked, and romanticizing it and ignoring it is weird.
It's fucked even for the people and the characters in the episode. Like, the Doctor's like, oh, I'd like to be a priest in this town. Oh, okay. Are there any 15-year-old girls who you'd like to force to carry a baby and then rip it away from them and set it up for adoption?
Sinners.
Is that part of the program, or did we just gloss over that aspect of Irish history? Because that fucking happened in that country up until, I don't know, a year ago. Like,
oh goodness,
why aren't we
off these children before they get any ideas?
Why isn't our holodeck program my favorite bar in San Francisco in the 24th century? Why is it like, why am I so obsessed with a time and a place where most people weren't welcome? It's fucking bizarre. Well, unless you're one of the writers. Anyway.
But I think I think the thing that stuck out, and I'm going to bring it back to sex, because the thing that stuck out most,
I think it's pronounced sex,
like a tsunami. The thing that really was like the thing that I wrote about and nobody talked about was the fact that, we probably need to, this thing is malfunctioning. It's drawing too much. We probably need to shut this thing down. And everybody was like, oh, that'll hurt their feelings. And it's like, y'all are you can't say goodbye to your sex toys. These are not real people. They're not real people. Maggie, Harry just wants to, it's like the reason why it's there. I mean, Janeway adiosed Michael's wife so that she didn't have to feel guilty about, having hang time with him. And it's like, it's offensive to Irish people, but it's also just offensive to, basic logical, critical thinking skills. You want it because it's a giant fuck town. It's a huge fuck town, and you want to keep it because you're 75 trillion years away from any place. and you don't want to fuck each other. None of these people fuck each other, so they need the holodeck.
Why, Will? Because they're what?
Medium uglies.
They're medium ugly. It's
But
low-key an
also so
abuse
does
of
Hannah.
power.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's low-key an abuse of power.
Exactly.
Because, Janeway remains captain of Team Bad Decisions because B'Elanna would not have been challenged, would not have been ignored, I should say, if Janeway wasn't the one with the most at stake in this program. Everybody was making concessions and tiptoeing and checking her temperature about what needed to happen to fix the holodeck. So, it's low-key an abuse of power. I mean, if we want to go there, right? It's low-key an abuse of power.
Also, delete your sex toys because literally 2 weeks ago, we just got Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson in a harness, to Benji's earlier point. You'll find something else to fuck. It's fine. We got a long trip ahead of us. Anywho.
Sanitize the holodeck.
Thumbs for spirit folk.
I thought it was slightly better than the last one.
It's a tie, y'all. So we need the first comment breaks the tie. These are the rules. I didn't write them. Just kidding.
I will agree it's better than Fairhaven, but...
Come on, chat. Break the tie.
Do it. Let's do it.
Joel said sideways.
It's down. Norm. Oh, wait.
Joel came in first.
Okay, it's a sideways. Sorry, Norman. Alrighty then. Season 6, episode 18, Ashes to Ashes. The long dead, though never seen before, Ensign Ballard seeks sanctuary aboard Voyager, pursued by alien abductors who reproduce by reanimating cadavers. For those not paying attention, that was a hard string of words to say when intoxicated. Krista, what's your summary of this episode?
I feel like I gotta. Okay, 7 opens a reclaimed Borg Punishment Protocol 9 Alpha Forward Child Care Center, whereby the gang is reintroduced to Ensign Lindsay Ballard, reanimated after death in an extensive spa visit. The doctor develops a treatment from previous 21st century technology first patented by Kim Kardashian to restore Lindsay's ability to cosmetically appear human. Tom Paris continues to opie by taunting Harry's fondness for fake human Lindsay in lieu of the preferred Harry and Lindsay sitting in a tree, Kissing. Harry learns to own the day by first acquiring consent. And that is why we all love Harry Kim and why he will inevitably be punished for his lack of toxic masculinity. And like the Kim Kardashian merkin made of dog versus human hair, the technology fails, teaching everyone a valuable lesson on Kardashian DNA replacement efficacy and the truth that second chances are cosmetically lovely, but ultimately smell of wet dog in a time you cannot recapture.
For this one, we shall turn it over to the only Saloner named for a starship captain. Benji.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So I started by claiming that I love this episode, but I'm looking over my notes and every single one is negative. So we're going to have to help me figure this out. So
I can help you because now I'm right there with you. This episode is so close to being good.
Yeah.
Conceptually, but there's a bunch of little things that really fuck with it.
Yeah. I mean, first of all, I think the most problematic in your face thing is that it's just like a full-on manic pixie dream girl situation, a la any number of 2000s movies that came out back in the day. It makes absolutely no, I mean, we can skip this part, but I mean, it makes no sense that Harry went to the academy and was completely in love with her and changed assignments for her, even though Harry already had a girlfriend at the time. Just completely overboard, was not believable. Maybe he could have found himself like falling in love with her like after the fact or something like that. But it like they hit you over the head with his like his gooning over her so much that it's not believable that she ever existed. Of course, we all thought, everybody who has seen this episode several times for the last 30 years wanted her to be the woman who died in that other episode where the doctor had to do his trolley problem and he went crazy. Obviously, it should have been her. We should have met her at least a few times. There needed to be some relationship stuff. It's Voyager. It's fine. But like this is like bad even for Voyager.
Yeah.
It is
Norman
kind of
throws out in the chat, maybe one of the Equinox crew. Marla.
Oh, there you go. That would have been, yeah. I have a note that says Harry gaslighting at the end. I don't remember specifically what gaslighting instance.
Well, that's all he does.
That's mostly, yeah.
It's a blanket statement for him.
I also don't. The one thing that always irked me about this episode, and I probably like couldn't put into words 30 years ago, or well, 25 years ago, is that like everybody's like so stunned when she speaks Kobali. It's like it comes off very like anti-immigrant.
Yes.
Almost like it rubs me the wrong way.
Yeah.
And doesn't half the crew speak like at least 3 languages at this point?
Yeah.
Like how is that not
Yeah. And then like, yeah, I don't know. It's corny. Her whole like list thing is very Robin Leffler.
Mm-hmm.
I think honestly the only thing I like about it is I think the actress is cool as hell.
Yes.
Everybody
loved her. She was up for T'Pol until sexist Rick Berman
No
was
way.
like, no, she's too fat.
Oh, fuck off.
What?
Yeah. Yes. Oh yeah. Oh, fun fact. The funnest of fun facts.
I believe it's pronounced Tefat.
Wow.
Rick Berman is a horrible person, as we all know. And I like the rest of my saloners who are going with me to STLV are gonna have to like watch me if I see him, because
girl, like we don't already when you're around that many Trek celebs.
Yes, for
I
different
left you
reasons.
alone
No, we
once.
leave you in compromising positions
that's
where
not
you
what
tell
this is.
someone
This
that you're
is-
their
this is,
sexual awakening. That's
I
when
left
that's
you
what we
alone
do.
Once
This is the lunging across the table situation.
Yes,
Yeah.
this is very different.
You need to do what mothers in the 50s did. They just pinned a note to the sleeves that told people where to return you.
Yeah, we don't know what autism is yet. Please return to. So Rick Berman is a monster, obviously, but this actress was like, everybody on set loved her, particularly Kate Mulgrew, and was like, "Hey, you have a new show coming up. You all should audition her." She got very far in the process and was literally told by her agent, I believe, after the fact, that she was too fat.
Jesus. Sorry.
Now we need the gratuitous picture of Rick Berman calling a thin girl too fat.
It's fat.
Well, look, you see what Blaylock was willing to do to stay in that job. So
yeah,
Well, it wasn't visit the craft service table.
Yeah, and why she doesn't want
exactly.
anything to do with Trek anymore.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm glad this person didn't continue in Trek if that's what was going to happen.
Mhm.
Yeah.
She has chemistry with literally everybody. Like she would have been such a breath of fresh air for this show if she had stayed on. It's too bad. Also, I think I loved the makeup. I thought she looked cute ball, just like Harry said.
Nominated for an Emmy.
I would have loved if she
episode
just
was
stayed in the
nominated for an
makeup
Emmy.
and was on the show. Yeah.
And this is another one of those. It's another one of those opportunities where, like, oh yeah, this person should have continued on, or like this story could have continued. This episode has a lot of really good things happen. Or overall, conceptually, I love. I like. No offense to friend of the pod, Kirsten Beyer, who hates Back from the Dead stories and resurrections. I think this is probably one of the more interesting ways that they've done it. Like, oh, there's an alien culture that reanimates the dead of other cultures to reproduce. That's crazy and really fun and interesting, this episode falls apart with a bunch of stupid little things for me, including Harry is finally potentially interesting, but then he's a whiny little bitch the entire time. Like, I've never been asked to the captain's quarters. This bitch just came back from the dead. And you're going to whine about her getting invited to the captain's quarters?
Technically, so is he.
Yes, fair enough.
Yeah.
But less recently. And this is one of the things about Voyager that grinds my gears the most. The replicator burning something as a proxy for Janeway being a bad cook in a universe where you don't actually do the fucking cooking. That it is so sexist, like it is a warp core breach of sexism, level of sexism, that you make the first woman captain bad at cooking in a universe in which you don't have to cook because the fucking machine does it for you. And yet, like, fuck all the way off. It pisses me off. Like, clearly I'm passionate about it, and that I've taken up too much space. Fuck Rick Berman.
I'm going to say that I don't believe that Harry as a love interest added anything to this at all, technically. And I think if I could fix it a little bit, I would have focused more on the brief interaction between Janeway and Lindsay, where she's saying, "Why did you send me? Why was I not important enough to protect?" Which is basically what she was saying. And having Janeway having to reconcile the kinds of decisions she makes, and maybe question whether she does play, favorites, or whether she's evaluating wrong or whatever. But I didn't see the love story with Harry adding anything. I think the young actress carried it all on her own, and I think that what. And again, I will apropos nothing, but this is supposed to be a series that focuses on the first female captain. Can we not have that kind of interaction with that captain? Yep.
Yeah, I want to like this episode because I think it's really interesting, and it's kind of weird, which is why I like it, and kind of like falls into that like Star Trek soft body horror area that I wish this fucking franchise would go into. But like, we don't get anything with her. So if this was a character we had met before that died, or something where we're like, oh, we knew her earlier, or something happened, like, like we got, like, if it was the fucking helmsman from the pilot, like someone who we kind of knew, even though this actress is fucking great. Like I know her from Sweet Life with Zach and Cody, which ironically, yes, I was an extra on, and she's very sweet in person. She's lovely. Miss Thing, come on the pod. She was lovely on the set. I was only there for one day, but it was fine. But like, she's fantastic in this episode, and I wish we would have gotten more of her earlier. It's like, this show is just not planned. It's like, if you're going to do something that is very specifically kind of be continuity, where they're traveling to traveling 70,000 light years home, you should come up with some kind of roadmap or something that's interesting. Like if we saw her earlier and she died, or we got a flashback at the beginning of the episode where we got to meet her. Voyages, I couldn't tell you. I do not remember. I'd have to look through my files. I have the checks that say the episode. I'll find it one day. It was inconsequential. I think I was there for half a day. But like, if we knew her beforehand, I would think it would make this episode more impactful. But having this romance with Harry doesn't make any sense, because Why? That's like the only thing he's good for. This guy's so psychotically horny, psychotically with the TS in front of it.
Psychotic.
Yes. I wish I was too old to be the stunt double for the twins. I wish. Though they were cute, but it was weird because they were 18, but it was weird. Because they're playing children. But we don't have to get into that. I lost it. It just Harry is not the vehicle for romance. He's not the vehicle for romance. Like, I don't know why they think he is. It's not interesting to him because he should be gay. Like, them pretending this character is not gay is weird because they're just like throwing women at him. Where this character clearly, like in a metaphysical sense, wants to be gay. Like, this character should have been gay, and they're trying to make him a love interest character, which should have been Tom. Tom should have been the one that's constantly getting hit with romances. And then Harry should have shacked up with some dude. And then that should have been the relationship, as he met someone on the ship who was a man. And
Good
they have a
shepherd,
relationship. Yes, exactly. And then that should have been his relationship. And there should have been a constant string of Tom dealing with this rather than Harry.
Because Seven and B'Elanna get together.
But the problem is they leaned into the trope of instead of a romance, let's have someone hopelessly romantic. Let's make it the Asian guy, because Asian men aren't sexual. It's the desexualization of Asian men.
It's the feminization of them, because yearning is to be feminine. So they make the Asian character cannot have a stable relationship because he is feminine. He cannot have a stable relationship. So it's like this weird thing. It's so esoteric and weird because like Asian culture is feminized and Asian men are not masculine. And like this kind of weird tropey bullshit
screams that all of these writers needed to be dicked down by an Asian top.
There we go. Or like,
stop.
Just don't like Harry should. Every time I see this, I go, it's interesting, but like the love story end of this is not interesting. The stuff between her and Janeway is the interesting thing, and it's like, why are you pulling on this? Not as a writer, why are you pulling on the less interesting thread here? It's like the path of least resistance here.
Yeah, and the other thing is this isn't entirely his fault, but it does not help that the actor is annoying. Like. He has admitted on his podcast that he would be late and he was whining with the writers on more than one occasion. Like, it doesn't surprise me hearing the way he talks about how he was on set that they wrote him this way. And so it's the double whammy of like the actor's kind of a douchebag and they're bad at it. And with that, let's see our thoughts.
Show me your thumbs. Okay. Love it. Oh boy. Season 6, episode 19, Child's Play. Seven suspects that Icheb's parents are not telling the truth about their son's assimilation. One of the Borg children still aboard Voyager may hold the key to the mystery. Siren, take it away.
Okay. Zodi and Naomi compete in a science fair, and it becomes clear that no one on this ship fucks their way to children, so appropriating or otherwise liberating them from elsewhere is fine. Because none of that matters since women ovaries. Breast and love and nurture all children everywhere, all the time, regardless of age. Resistance is futile. Please save me from another fucking 7 episode where she has feelings. Icheb is regifted back to his parents and their planet of industrial devastation and are promptly schooled on how to properly continue his rearing by persons who have little to no experience in child rearing. Promptly embracing the role of Karen, head of every HOA in the universe, Seven behaves badly. And I ask again if fast forwarding to the next episode might really not be catastrophic. Is that an open sewer runoff I'm looking at? Everyone learns the valuable truth that most things are like riding a bike despite the fact that both the bike and the rider were violently appropriated, assimilated, rejected, reassimilated into punishment daycare, and then unhappily regifted. Seven uncovers a heinous plot and once again saves everyone with the power of superiority feelings and weaponized judgments. The gang realizes that maternal instincts are useful and no one survives without Seven exercising them, and Karens, along with the Borg, make a tasty lemonade on the continuing merry-go-round of you get a child and you get a child and you get a child, Voyager Space Odyssey. Yep.
I'll kick this one off by saying that I both love and hate this episode all at the same time. I wish the twist wasn't telegraphed by Jerry's performance, because Seven immediately doesn't trust them. Could we just trust them? Could we have written them to be trusting individuals? Also, could we not make, to Krista's point, which we couldn't have planned this because we didn't plan this, but had we planned this, it's a sewage runoff. Like why is this, like, to make a non-technologically advanced planet, Star Trek feels the need to make it look like a fucking shithole? Like, it could have just been a quiet little town with no technology. Those existed prior to technology existing. Like, there were villages. You've shot several scenes on, or several episodes on one Hello, The Good Place set. Like, why did we have to make it look like a desolate ditch in the middle of nowhere? It's just weird. I like the turn of his mother, but I wish it were more sinister. I wish his parents were actually the people that created the entire concept of sending the children to the transwarp hub. To be like, I needed them to be darker and more villainous, as opposed to like, well, we all do this with our kids from time to time, put them in a torpedo. Like, it needed to be a little more to be terrifying, and for me to have sympathy for Icheb, because despite the eventual turn of Manu Intereme into a horrible human, the character was somewhat compelling and had potential. And I feel like the choices that were made in putting this episode together sort of poo-pooed a lot of that potential, or its potential. Anyway, what are your thoughts, guys?
I will say, for Matt's sake, who can't be here tonight, some cool ship shit in this. That warp jump at the end, really cool.
Yeah, I think this episode, again, is like, it wants to be weird. Like, there's a darkness to this where they were sacrificing their children to the collective to keep them away from them. Like, what?
The lottery.
Yeah, like
lottery.
Yeah, like the lottery episode
Lottery,
of yeah, or the episode of with the child from Strange New Worlds. Like, there should be an inherent darkness to this where they're like, we eventually sacrifice our children. We've created this pathogen that keeps the Borg away from us, but the only way we're able to achieve it is we assimilate a child, and like lean into the weird of it, and then like it just, yeah, I think there's a lot of stuff lost with Icheb in terms of like what that means for his character and like how he can relate more to Seven, having gone through kind of something kind of similar, because it felt like she got sacrificed by her parents for their selfish research. So why would she take a child on a ship anyway? But like it, there's a certain kind of thing that happens there with like how a child deals with the sins of the parent, essentially, because like we all got fucked up by our parents. It's just a matter of life. But like it does feel like this is a moment where the show could have really dug in, done something weird, and done something really dark and sinister, and like how, again, all the Borg episodes should have been smushed into season 3 and 4. Like like if we had this earlier, it would have been so impactful if we got just how these other planets in the Delta Quadrant dealt with the Borg for so long. And this planet was like, we send children, sacrifice children with pathogens to stop them from invading our worlds. And it's like, okay, like the people made a sacrifice. I don't know. It doesn't lean into its premise enough, but it also puts Seven in a weird maternal situation that I think is also kind of strange, where they keep trying to turn her into mommy, which take with that as what you will, like Buckwick Berman. But like it does feel like they're, instead of her being protective of this young person that she sees herself in, it's more of like, I've adopted this child and now you're taking my adopted child away, versus like her feeling an affinity and wanting to like mentor versus parent. I'll say should have been weirder. This whole franchise weirder, but this definitely.
Yeah, it's another convenience thing. Like they run into these Borg, they run into these Borg's hometowns. Like how? Like there's so much convenience along the road. It makes no sense.
But we've seen civilizations that are divided into two camps. One camp feeding off of another camp through, addictive drugs and TNG. We saw a group here that the whatever it was, the Excalibur, the Explorer, whatever that other ship was, they were using another species in order to fuel their shit. I mean,
it was the Equinox. They were also on an exploration.
Oh, yes. The thing that kind of bothered me about this was that that this is another culture. These are their practices, and it's and as distasteful as regifting Egypt to them, and then having him get shot out of a circus cannon. As distasteful as that is their culture, and they are his parents. And so the question becomes, did they abdicate parental rights the first time they shot him up? Or do they retain their parental rights, and thus does the custom, stay like something that Starfleet is not allowed to mess with? It just seemed like it was an episode where we got to see, Seven vehemently defend an underdog from, certain peril, disguised as, I have these unresolved maternal instincts for this, and none of it made sense. None of it all was happening so quickly that none of it made sense. And again, somebody wrote, and again, this is, Voyages. And again, it's an episode where it's all Janeway's fault. And it's like,
I mean, and she was willing to use that same pathogen in the episode where we meet the kids, right? To take out the Borg. So I agree with Will that I wish it had been straightforward. Like, oh, thanks for bringing them back. This is what we do, right?
Mhm.
And that's the conversation they have, right? Because Janeway's like, oh, wait, you made the pathogen? Yeah, we made it, but we also stick it in our kids. And that's the debate, right? that we have.
Mm-hmm.
Because then it's like you were willing to use this, but now you object because the carrier is a person, or what? Like, so what's the quandary here? What's really at stake, right? I don't know, it's weird. And at the end, there's this whole, Seven says to him, to Icheb, because Icheb was also like, maybe this was my destiny. One, you should have had this conversation again when you took them on. Like, do you want to go back home? What do you want to do? If we want to talk about agency, right? So he should also have some agency in this too. So you usurp his agency because you think he knows what's best, but then say, oh, but when you're 21, you get to decide, or I don't know. It was just all over the place. But I do agree. It should have just been a straightforward, like, hey, we use our children as bombs. So thank you for bringing back, our bomb, and let it go from there.
Thumbs for Child's Play. I believe that averages out to a sideways, despite my best efforts. Season 6, episode 20, Good Shepherd. When Janeway accompanies 3 volatile crew members, I object, on a mission, they fall victim to an alien attack and must work together to survive. Siren.
Evaluations are out, and 7 concludes everyone is substandard, to which B'Elanna is all sure Jan on behalf of the entire crew, resulting in an away mission for remedial crew members and invites to watch Tom's TV. 7 Cassandra's her thoughts of future mayhem. Chakotay suggests allowing them to open a glaze-it-yourself pottery outlet, but Janeway drops a perfectly timed shepherd allegory, and off we go. Everyone learns an important lesson about individual gifts, usefulness, despite isolationism, and an answer to the question, if we are pricked, do we not all leak? Alternative title, the one where Janeway joins 3 Eeyores culled from the carnival sideshow of Voyager's lower decks on an away mission.
With, I will add real quick, Rage Against the Machine frontman Tom Morello.
I mean, and before I kick it over to Joanne, I will not speak of the thoughts that I am having, but push the fucking button, Tom Morello.
Problematic gay alert.
Anytime, any place. Joanne?
I mean, Crewman Mitchell, I was like, hey, Crewman. So this episode always resonates with me because, fun fact, I am a people leader in real life, friends. And I'll take a little nerd trip, wherein most people in corporate America like to find, high performers, rock stars. I have created sort of a niche, and I have found that the most high performing teams, I go looking for socially awkward people because they do possess, right? Usually gifts and talents that are not typically rewarded in corporate settings, right? So I am looking for the nerd. I'm looking for the quiet one who sits in the corner, eats his cheese sandwich at lunch. Because I'm like, I bet you that bitch is smart, right? So it's an interesting lesson and dynamic for me. So I felt Janeway when 7 comes in like, these people ain't shit, and Janeway, instead of takes it to heart, instead of, chastising her department heads or whatever, she's just like, I'm going to go after these people and spend some time with them and see what's really going on and see what their strengths and talents are, right? So I absolutely appreciated that. And I also appreciated that she didn't they didn't write her like as a nurturer. She was still very much Captain Janeway. Like, you're not going to talk crazy to me. We're going to follow protocol. I am not your fucking friend, but we're going to do this, right? We're going to work together. We're going to figure this out because you have talents and skills, and we're in this shit together for 100 years. So I absolutely appreciated that. I also liked the fact that, the very cantankerous one, the cosmologist, in his quote unquote act of sacrifice, I love that it kind of still failed, right? Because it's like, it didn't reward, you're still being rebellious to the end and self-serving. And it's just like, oh no, I'm sacrificing for you. Well, no, you still need to do what the fuck I say, right? So you need to learn to work with other people. You are not the end all be all. So I like that it kind of fell apart with that too. But I also don't, again, Voyager always just fails me in the end because Chakotay's like, they get back to the ship and she's like, yeah, I think I found them or whatever. And no, I don't think you did. It was just unresolved. It was just unresolved. I don't really know beyond that. Yes, you should find, encourage the gifts, the talents, to be straightforward with people like that. I don't know what the lesson was. I don't ultimately know, how this was resolved. So I didn't think it was bad. I thought some points were salient. I admit my own biases in this, right? But it wasn't great either. So yeah, there you have it.
To lean into the corporate of it all, I appreciated the, like, sometimes you just have the team that you have, and how do you make the best and the most of the skills that they bring to the table. Just because they're not the most presentable doesn't mean that they're not useful. It doesn't mean that there isn't a role for them in your team. Janeway happens to have a team of 150 something at this point. But each of them is valuable and each of them has a contribution. I loved the accidental Star Trek world building that was Mortimer being there for a reason other than wanting a Starfleet career. He was like, no, this was an opportunity for me to get experience, to do a thing I actually wanted to do. This uniform is just an accessory to that motive. And oops, I'm stuck in the Delta Quadrant. Again, my only problem with this episode is that we never see any of these people again. And I think we see, we see the, do we see the,
we see Celeste.
Girl, you see the
Celeste.
one, yeah.
She's the Bajoran one, right?
Mm-hmm.
I wish
the Bajoran one, Trev.
The Bajoran one. Listen, I wish. Again, it's Voyager. They're stuck. It's the same people over and over again. Why aren't we seeing more of these people? That's my only perspective. And you're underwater. You have no idea what you just said. Benji will.
Yeah, I think I've talked about this before, but I just wanted to throw in. I really love the Celeste character. I find often writers in general do this. They do it a lot on Star Trek, though, where for decades they were writing about characters of different personality types, and I think we didn't know what they were. So I think writers would pick a personality type because they think it's interesting, and they write a character like that. And often it's in Star Trek, it'll be an autistic character, and that'll be Spock or Data or whomever. Celeste to me has always been a rare one with ADHD. She talks about her brain being wired differently, and she's kind of a fuck up at work. So I just kind of appreciate that we got somebody like that, because I found myself identifying with her. I also think Tom also is differently ADHD. He's hyperactive and changes hobbies quite a lot. So I just really appreciated that about this episode. So just one for Celeste.
I appreciate this episode because I put it in the chat. I think the franchise, the meta reality of this, forgets that Starfleet is the equivalent of a job. Yes, they don't need money. We're in a post-scarcity world, whatever. But some people do this not because they're have this yearning to explore. We get this idea that someone did this, Mortimer did it as a means to an end, and how Voyager said it in there, the line that Voyager isn't my home, I just live here, is so prescient, because I think there's some really incredible world building that's happening on Voyager, where it's not everyone is excited they got lost in the Delta Quadrant. And a lot of people are we're going to spend the next 70 years on this fucking ship going home. And most of us are not going to make it. And it's do we think we're going to find something that's going to get there? The desperation, the frustration, the confusion of being trapped on this ship. The series itself just rejects the premise entirely. We get to bits and pieces of it here and there, which is part of the frustration of Voyager, right? Especially on this rewatch for me. I find myself more frustrated with the fact that they're not acknowledging the fact that these people are so far from home. And they're going there, and it's what is this? And then Janeway's kind of role that's expanded beyond just a captain who barks orders like Picard, into someone who is a central figure who's trying to keep a family in some regard together, and getting them to all work in kind of a space where they are There has to be someone who's sweeping up the shit. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, you're going to be doing that for 70 years. And it's like, because that's an essential function that has to happen on the ship. So you have to clean out the cum bucket in the fucking holodeck. Like, because someone has to do it. And it's like, and Seven hasn't figured out how to get Borg nanites to do it yet. So like, you're going to clean out the cum trap in the holodeck. Like, they don't touch on this enough. And it's a little frustrating because it's like, at what point do these people go, I don't want to do that forever? But you have to, because who's going to replace you? Because we're all medium ugly and no one's fucking. So it's like, you're going to do this forever, bitch. Like, I think this show again, opens LaCroix and leaves it in another room, doesn't talk about it. It's like a whisper of orange over here. And it's like, no, I want to taste the orange. Give me the orange.
It isn't that much after this that Battlestar Galactica actually addresses it head on. There's actually a line in like the 5th episode. So like, that man is taking care of, a garden because that's what he was when the Holocaust happened. Is that what he's always going to be? Like, is that his future forever? The people on the Tillium ship are mining Tillium? Sorry to go on a BSG rant, but like, I watch Katie Sackhoff's show every Thursday. So, here you go. But like, is that your future just because the circumstances dictated it and that's what you were at the time? And Voyager, you're 1,000% correct, missed an opportunity to address that, both prior to this episode and after. Any other thoughts on Good Shepherd, or shall we rate it?
I real quick, I like to think that Janeway opted to do this because of her interaction with Lindsay.
Oh.
I think she looked at it and went, wait a minute, here's another potential group of people that I don't know and that may ask me, why. So
that's my one thought as well, is I wanted more. I think more from her. Like, I need to do more of this. Like, I'm recognizing my failures as a captain, that like we're at year 6 and this is happening. Like this would make sense if we were in Star or back home. Here, it doesn't make sense that these people are that distant from me.
Also, it should have been happening in like season 3. Like, it took you this long to figure this out?
Yeah, like this was an early lesson. Yeah,
right.
because
season 1, this is an early lesson.
It really is, because it is a job, right? And it started out as a job, but because of their circumstances, they're now something else, right? And so Janeway really needed to say, yeah, no, I hired you to do a job, but now we're in this situation. So we need to become a different kind of unit, right? With some different priorities and values. That's an early lesson. That's not
a community.
A community, even, she likes family. I don't like that word, but you know what I mean? But a collective, a community, you know what I mean?
She's not a captain. She's a governor.
Exactly. Right. That's not, we're halfway home conversation. That's when we're sorting out the Maquis, exactly.
Yep.
Yeah.
There should have been a whole episode in season 1 or 2 where they sit down and they go, how do we get this ship home? How do we put people in places that are efficient? Like, I don't know. Like, I hate to throw headcanon in, but it's like, in my mind, like, Starfleet always goes on a 5-year rotation. So every 5 years, a lot of these people leave. Like, ships only go out for 5 years and come back. Like, you're not stuck on the ship for decades. So like,
same thing with crews. Like, maybe the captain is there longer than 5 years, but like, they don't have the same first officer that long. They don't have the same counselor. They don't have the same helm officer. Like, people are rotating.
People
to other
rotate
ships
out.
and doing
Like,
things.
it adds a sense of reality to this instead of people being stuck on a ship for 70 years. And it's like, what do you do? Like, you're stuck.
That could be an interesting show where every season the cast is different, and partially.
To Krista and Joanne's point, and a little bit to Stan's, what a beautiful concept if we had seen these 3 officers come to Janeway's quarters for burned pot roast and PB&J.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Or you see them at a helm officer. Like, you see them on the bridge somewhere. You see them somewhere else where they're not doing this one thing again.
Get the fuck out of that tiny little room on deck 15. Come join us.
Unless you want to stay there. Like, some people are like, fuck it.
7. Like, switch the Rude Boy with Celeste to work with 7 in the Astrometrics. They'd be fine together. they'd be great together, actually.
Yep.
But
Thumbs for Good Shepherd. I actually like this episode a lot.
I kind of liked it.
Yeah. We've been mostly unanimous this half. What is it? The ass half of this season. Season 6, episode 21. Live fast and prosper. Con artists practiced galaxy-wide craft while impersonating Janeway and her officers until the Doctor dupes them with the help of a holographic disguise. Siren, take it away.
Begins with the question, who the fuck are these people? Oh my God, more orphan children. The gang encounters consequences for the actions of gremlin impersonators grifting throughout the quadrant, pretending good Indiana farm principles, Vulcan balance, and fake religious kindness and piety. Hold on, it's Chakotay. Please tell me he also has a fur sack full of accoutrements. Engaging in a double-blind reversal, Tuvok exercises his improvisational skills. Neelix exploits and exploiters' exploitation with a manipulative truth con he learned from his granny, while Opie and the Doctor bring the curtain down on this traveling carnival of cons, and the boys return triumphant to the harmless con of playing with their nuts together.
Will, you want to follow that up?
Sure. I don't know how I'm going to follow that. I
Play with your nuts.
actually, I know, go nuts. I actually really love this episode. I think is like, it's kind of fun, but I like that we see what Voyager's impact on the Delta Quadrant is at this point. Like what it is that like people are like, oh, this weird shit, this ship that came from so far away is now making such an impact here because they keep fucking doing crazy shit. And then like how people would take advantage of that. It's an interesting piece of world building that we never get to touch again. But like, I kind of was like, Mama, this episode's kind of almost camp. I was kind of living for it. I think it was so silly, but it had a good message at the end of it about like what, like if the show was at any amount reflective of itself, being like, what is this impact of us? Because they're just not trying to get home. They're leaving like a trail of death, like this like trail of tears moment, this like desolation behind them where they've done crazy shit. Like they stopped a war between the Borg and species 8472. They released an ancient race from a tomb. They're doing all sorts of crazy shit. Like there's like every other episode is something nuts happening with this directly centered on this crew. So them being like, some people are playing like they're scamming. Like I love a stunt. Like I live. This episode was like my favorite of the season. Like it's so fucking camp and it's ridiculous. Like the fake Janeway is so funny to me. Like because they gave her kind of like the similar bob, so it just I don't know. The Tuvok, it's really funny too. I don't know. It just I was like, Mama, I was living. I was like, I love this acting challenge. RuPaul's Drag Race, Delta Quadrant. Living. I was living for this. Like top 2 of the week, lip sync for the win. Like I live. Like it was so fun. So anyway, it's like so stupid, and it's a great exactly, Sam. It's a great like late season episode because it gets a little moment of reflection. But like I lived for this episode. It's so fun.
I was so excited when fake Chakotay showed up. I was like, oh my God, they do. They really do have one. And then fake Janeway serving cunt to real Janeway and real Janeway serving it back. It was just funny. And
also unintentionally meta having fake Chakotay being a white guy.
Yeah. I mean, but he had like a slightly different tattoo. I mean, the whole thing. It would have made it art if he had actually said Akuchimoya.
Sakuchi-moya.
If he had said the word Sakuchi-moya.
Chipotle.
Exactly.
I was worried we were going to be beating whatever to death.
No,
funny.
it's safe.
It's working.
It's safe.
It's safe. It's safe. Yes. God.
Shit.
I love everything about this episode, including the fucking over the people that are fucking over people. Like I love the reverse, the Uno reverse card of it all was kind of beautiful. But yeah, I don't have a ton to say other than I love it.
I love that fake Tuvok loves Tuvok.
Yes.
Like it was fucking great. It's like the other two are just doing it to do it, and this guy is like, Commander Tuvok.
The only thing it was missing was like an invitation to lunch so he could better understand his character.
Yeah.
Like he wanted to embrace the Tuvok, which, I mean, go ahead and push the button. Same.
Yes.
Problematic gay alert.
Thumbs for Live Fast.
And a good reuse of the Defiant set.
Indeed. Season 6, episode 22, Muse. B'Elanna's life aboard Voyager provides inspiration for an alien playwright whose ability to entertain his warlord king is a matter of life and death. Siren.
B'Elanna crashes on a planet of poetic bloodletters as a captive prisoner and is mistaken as an eternal godlike creature. Harry shows up later. Transactional negotiations and metaphors ensue, and she becomes a muse of inspiration. It's all very Shakespearean, and a valuable lesson is learned that there are others out there 75 light years away who believe that Earth is a place where peace reigns and hatred finds no home.
That one was poetic, Krista.
A little bit.
It's the Shakespeare of it all.
It was the poetry.
While holding a mask over my face.
When you throw the prime directive out the fucking airlock, poetry ensues.
Magic happens. Benji, kick us off for Muse, will you not?
Muse. Okay, I probably have like no right to talk about this because I don't know anything about like ancient Greece and stuff like this. But I do think it is really cool that they did an episode about a Greek chorus. You can kind of tell what a little F-slur I am, which was when I was a kid. One of my favorite movies was that Woody Allen movie with which one was that with the Greek chorus? I forget. I should know.
The Woody Allen movie?
Yeah, with the Greek Mira Sorvino. I should remember.
Aphrodite.
Yeah.
I think wasn't it Aphrodite?
Yeah, Mighty Aphrodite.
Mighty Aphrodite.
Yeah. Yeah, but I just love it. I love like the whole like Greek chorus setting. I love that it's, you know, that we get the stuff about the theater troupe. I think B'Elanna and the guy who plays what's his name? I have it written down here somewhere. Trellis. I think they work off each other very well. Stromboli. I like that B'Elanna is like this little imp who fell from the heavens in a vessel that he captured, but he's like caring for her. I love like all of that stuff about it. Like years and years ago, closer to when this came out, I actually was in a like theater course for a while. So it meant something to me then, but my memory is shot. So the relevant stuff that I love is that I love that the rich patron warlord guy is like a complete fucking moron, because like all political leaders are, that he like engages randomly in wars out of anger. I love the concept that like a play or a show like Star Trek, or now like we've seen more so with Star Wars, or maybe in late night or in comedy in general, that like media has a role to play where it like calls out our leadership and challenges it, and you hope that it affects the minds of the people and can affect change. I like to think that Star Trek has done that. I mean, it can't not have, considering how prevalent it has been for now 60 years. And then on top of that, I love that this episode manages in like just this one episode and this one-off character manages to say so much about Star Trek. Like, he is the Star Trek audience, even though he is also a playwright. He's interpreting what Star Trek is and what Starfleet is and what their ideals are. He says that, like, I love that line at the end, Earth is a place where peace reigns and hatred has no home. He like calls it out right. And there's other stuff, like he interprets like what a Vulcan is so fully that, like, you know, beneath his unfeeling exterior, whatever, is a heart that's breaking silently. I just think like so much is said in this one tiny little episode, and I love it. Shout out to Braytac, who didn't get enough lines. Also, I managed, because I lost access because of region lock nonsense. I ended up not at all downloading an upscaled version of the show, and for the first time, I noticed how insane the masks are that they're wearing. Like, there's like a Janeway mask with like half a bob, and there's like the B'Elanna mask. I had just sort of like never seen them on like the old CRT thing, so it was, I don't know, it was just fun getting to see all the detail that went into it. They're pretty funny. I want to know where those are, by the way, because somebody has them. Anyway, somebody else can talk.
The thing that I love the most about this episode is the thing that pisses me off. One of the things that pisses me off the most about Voyager, which is B'Elanna coming up with a very B'Elanna but not very Starfleet solution to a dilemma. Should have been a recurring theme throughout like every other episode of Voyager. She's not a Starfleet officer. You've made her one. You've put her in this box, but she's already told you she doesn't want to be in this box. She already didn't work out at the academy because she found the system too constraining. So when she works outside of those constraints, she's brilliant. Let her be fucking brilliant. It flies in the face of, and if you don't follow us on Bluesky, you should, at Salon Trek everywhere except for Instagram, where we are the Salon Trek. That said, Stan was able to post, I think it was today or yesterday, a reference to the fact that she's like, fuck the Prime Directive, I've got to solve this problem and beam out in front of you as a matter of theater. But it's a brilliant solution to an improbable-ish situation that a Starfleet officer was not trained on how to solve. But B'Elanna figured out the solution because she's not a Starfleet officer. And that needed to be the solution more than it was in Voyager. But it was in this episode. So for this, I love it, but would love to hear anybody that disagrees or feels otherwise.
Shout out to the masks, as Benji mentioned, and also this wonderful actress, Kelly Waymere, who would go on to be Crewman Cutler in Star Trek Enterprise, who tragically died way too young at 36 due to an unknown heart condition. Was really fun in this episode, playing this cunty foil to B'Elanna. And yes, Benji, the masks were insane.
Yeah, I can't be partial with this episode because as someone who has studied and works in theater and is partial to ancient theater, this is like an episode that might have been written for me in some regard. It feels like the costumes in this are incredible. Like, looked up that it was nominated for an Emmy, which it should have, because the costumes are like, the masks, everything are amazing. But like, talking about like, I don't know. I'm reaching a point with theater where I feel like it's become too elitist, that it's not speaking to the people. It's not speaking to the powers. It's speaking to the people who already understand the message, because they're elitist, and by proxy, they are, you know, quote, leftist people. They tend to be more progressive. So this episode is very interesting because it shows about how like storytelling can affect people, but you have to be willing to take a risk in that storytelling to then affect the people involved. So like with B'Elanna deciding we're going to beam me up at this point, it's an interesting point of being like, we're going to risk something crazy on stage, which I've done regularly. I normally have a list of things that I'm like, these are the things that have to happen in the show.
Smoke a cigarette.
No, laser.
Laser.
There has to be a laser at some point. At some point in a show, there will be a laser. There will be smoke. I have to have a moment of stillness. I have to have a moment of that's to be a moment of pathos. There's a series of things that have to happen.
This show has everything.
It has to have everything. If you're in the DC area, come November.
I caught that, Trev.
Lasers. But like this makes a good point about how you have to take a risk with storytelling, which is actually like the antithesis of Voyager at this point, because they're not taking risks with their storytelling. So like, it's funny that they're talking about a message, but it's like a do as I say, not as I do moment. But talking about like Star Trek is like, it's like a meta commentary on that, where I don't know if that's like the intent of this, but I think much like some of the more impactful stories of Star Trek, they actually nail something not entirely what they were willing to talk about, if that makes sense. Like
it's very outcast in that way.
Yes, exactly. Where they wanted to do a gay story, but actually ended up telling a very interesting trans story. So like, it's like this is a very, like good example of that. And I think that the people who look outside the box and are willing to take a risk to do something, to get a message, to kind of free themselves from a situation, to get something across for the sake of something larger than themselves, because B'Elanna did it to escape, but she beamed away on stage for sake of the story. So like, in sake of what that means to the people, it means to the, this war crazed, oligarch person that they're all living under. So like what that means. So she risked something larger for the story, for the possibility of the performative action after that, which is like the shit that gets me rock hard, bricked, dripping for theater. So
on that note,
everybody get your thumbs up for get your thumbs bricked up.
Bricked. Everyone's bricked.
Speaking of erect appendages,
yeah, they should have gone full Lysistrata. That's my only note.
Girl, yeah, I've been in that show. It was terrible. Anyway,
speaking of terrible, season 6, episode 23.
Yeah,
Fury. Former crewman Kess, you might remember her, she was in an inappropriate relationship with the chef, returns to exact revenge on Captain Janeway, betraying the ship to an alien life form that will absorb the crew's internal organs, otherwise known as the only effective villain this show ever created, and who should have been part of the Ashes to Ashes story. For this, I would love to hear from Stan first. Staniel. Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry. The Siren. I humbly request your synopsis and forgiveness for almost glossing over said synopsis.
A dramatically aged and angry Kez returns to Voyager and consumes the warp core like a Tennessee fake Christian tearing through a Buc-ee's. The game back in time to the first 56 days of the Delta Quadrant, and a rare sighting of Naomi Wildman's mother in her natural habitat. We're back to Matt's problematic vacuoles as a drinking game, and Tuvok mistakenly peeks into Ensign Wildman's womb and finds 7-year-old Naomi. Neelix creates mixtapes as a love language, and Kess plants herself in a drawer, though not one containing a sink, as noted by Joanne. HIPAA protocols, and much like consent is disregarded, and that's the least of their problems, as Kess in a drawer and not quite Kess make their move for reasons of vengeance, which make absolutely no fucking sense, but whatever, because finally a phaser set to kill, leaving only Kess in a drawer alive. An important lesson on deja vu was learned on Tuvok's very special day. I still don't understand anything about this episode.
And Stan, before I kick it over to you, there was a reference that Krista made, and I think we need to acknowledge it. Something that Krista doesn't believe in.
Buc-ee's?
Besides Buc-ee's.
Them pussy chips are so good. Say a little more.
My pussy chips?
No.
something that Krista doesn't believe
Krista doesn't believe in a thing.
Oh, I don't believe in a stun setting. I don't see the point of a stun. Wow.
Sorry, I don't know why that went so far over my head.
It's okay. It's okay. You were preparing to tell us why this episode is terrible. Go for it.
I would like to start with
Justice for Jennifer Lean.
Justice for Jennifer Lean. I love that she's back for an episode. I think it's absolute trash that this is the episode they gave her. This is teleplay by Joanne's boyfriend, Brian Fuller, and Michael Taylor. The story, though, is Rick Berman and Brandon Braga. And so, I just know that this went through that game of telephone where they probably submitted a decent draft, and then Rick and Brana were like, it's not reused enough, it's not sexist enough, it's not dumb enough, and Janeway's hair isn't messy enough. Because that's probably my biggest problem with all of the shit that they gave that woman, Kate Mulgrew, over her hair to not get her a good wig when they were going to put her back in the beehive pisses me off. But I digress. Jennifer gives a wonderful performance, two, in fact. It makes no fucking sense. Why is she pissed? It needed... I needed her to be not to be, this is going to sound potentially ableist, but she needed to have dementia or something. She needed to think that she was mad at them, not actually be mad at them. And she needed to get care to be no, Kes, we didn't do this to you. Remember something, or scrap the entire idea, have her come back and give Jennifer her hero moment. Let her be the one to save the ship from something. Tie it into Cold Fire with what was not hysteria, Suspiria. Suspiria.
Hysteria, not the remotely sexist, evil,
not the
sexist
god. But get that creepy little girl back and have Kes come in and kill her. Something Jennifer gives such a wonderful performance, both as her older, angry self and her younger, more naive self. This having her back could have been wonderful. She should have been able to stay, like we talked about weeks ago. And goddamn Janeway's wig. Fuck Rick Berman. Fuck Brandon Braga.
What if Suspiria had been the ghost of the mother from Janeway's nanny program?
Yes. All of that. My sister isn't well.
And the whole time it was just the haunting of Holodeck 4 by Suspiria. She was on the ship the whole time, could have gotten them home the whole time. It was the ultimate Ruby Slipper moment.
Yeah.
She had a banger entrance, though.
Yeah.
It's this warp core champagne.
Yeah, she Ivan oozed out, but stayed on the ship.
Will?
This episode is where was the first part? It's where was the first part of this episode? Oh, we're gonna cut all of the stuff that actually understands why this is happening to because this series it's a real problem with oh, look at this weird thing happening. That's the cold open. Now we're gonna talk about what's going on. They do that a lot, where the cold open is kind of the scary what if moment. A good example is when the Hirogen take over the ship and they're like, why is Janeway in this lesbian pantsuit thing? There's very that happening. It's very Marlena Dietrich. But this, I watch this episode and I always think to myself, did I miss the first part of this? Because it just starts off it's. The acting is wooden. I'm sorry. Everyone in this is doing a terrible job because I don't think they understand what's going on. Because it's so this episode is so it's where people are looking for the first 10 pages. You can tell because their acting has no anchor. The writing is also bad. This is another one I'm going to talk to Mr. Brian Fuller about because I'm sure he got this assignment from Rick Berman and Brandon Braga, who came up with the story. Go write this bullshit. It doesn't make any sense. And it's the last time we see Jennifer Lean and Kes, it's such an insult to her because the way she leaves in The Gift is honestly a gift to that character because she was given so much by that crew that she gave them something. And like to come back and be like, I'm mad about something. And then they're like, why are you blowing up the ship? You loved all of us and we loved you. Is so weird because it's so outside of the character of Kes. We're like, if she had issue with what happened, that's interesting. But like she comes in angry, old, demented, crazy. And like, and it's just like, it's a very weird, I don't understand this episode. And it was like I remember at the time, it was like this big, like, Kes is back. But like, it's such a slap in the face of this character. And like, it's very disappointing. It's very disappointing. Like, I'm grateful she came back because as much as, you know, I hope Jennifer Lee, wherever you are, if you're obviously you're watching and listening, we love you. And I hope you're doing well and you're thriving where you are. You know, but like, it's insulting to that character because she did not leave of her own volition. She left because she was on to a new adventure into like wherever she was going in terms of like this next stage of evolution for her. And she left them with a gift. It wasn't like she was killed or like taken too short. This was the end of the journey of that character. It's every part of this episode I have issue with.
It's also, it's not just an insult to the character of Kes and to the actress Jennifer Lee. It's also an insult to the concept of and the actual condition of dementia. Like if you forget too much, you'll get angry and you'll hate all of your family members. Like, fuck off. Like what is this? There's an attempt at a tender moment at the end with like here's a thing that will give you a sweet memory, and it's literally a sweet. And it's not anything that was ever referenced in the series before. So it's just insult upon injury upon insult. But that said, I'd love to see your thumbs for Fury.
Just for Jennifer, it gets a side from me, but it should be a down. I respect that.
Down spiritually, thumbs up for Jennifer. Always a thumbs up for Jennifer. The episode is a down.
Yeah,
I just
Salon caveat. Jennifer always gets a thumbs up. Go ahead, Vinci. Sorry.
I just have to point out, Janeway now knows from 2 months into their journey that they're going to be in the Delta Quadrant for 6 more years at least.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but that doesn't change anything. We swear.
Yeah.
It's just like
Kes needed to take away her this reminded me of like again, I love Discovery, but we talked about this a lot with Discovery. Like I needed one more line of dialogue once in a while, like almost every episode. This needed like Will said, 10 more pages, but like something about older Kes being like, oh, before I go, let me just take your memory of this away. Keep the program and you'll remember it later. You'll remember it when you need to remember it.
You know what you won't need one more of? Season 6, episode 24, Lifeline. The Doctor receives a distress call from his creator, Dr. Zimmerman, and finds himself in danger of matrix degeneration. Guests Marina Sirtis and Dwight Schultz. Siren, take us away.
The Delta Quadrant's diminishing distance from Earth allows a monthly menstrual communication cycle between Voyager and Earth, which prompts the Doctor to attempt treatment of an ailing Dr. Zimmerman. And this is why Will is forced to suffer a Barclay appearance with a guest appearance of Deanna Troi in the role of inexplicably diminished emotional crutch prop for troublesome members of Starfleet.
Daniel, save us.
Yeah, this episode has some good stuff in it. We've talked about this before. Like the Doctor is rough, especially on rewatch. Like Robert Picardo is a great actor, and what they do with the Doctor in Prodigy and Starfleet Academy is wonderful. That they saw the better version of this character is like kudos to those creative teams, because like if I were writing it, his program would be decompiled. Like he's a creepy, arrogant fuck in Voyager too much. This is kind of lovely. His like, I need to go save my dad, kind of. It's just, it feels a little unearned at like every level. Like Barkley doesn't need to be there. Deanna doesn't need to be there, though I love Marina Sirtis. Like Troy Boy for life, but why are they there? And the doctor just hasn't earned this tender moment. And so it's just maybe it's sideways for me just because it's whatever. But like, it just falls flat for me.
It's not the doctor that hasn't earned the tender moment. It's Louis Zimmerman. Like
that's right. The doctor has grown. Yeah. Zimmerman.
But I mean, it's easily confused because it's the same person. But like it isn't earned because like I don't give a shit about this guy. Like he was a misogynist prick on DS9. Every time he's shown up on Voyager, he's been, first of all, like rapidly aged for some weird reason from the last time we saw him. And I don't understand the Star Trek loves to do this weird Star Trek loves to do this weird ass thing where they're like, hey, in the 24th century, all humans live to be a significantly older age than they currently do in the 20th and 21st century. But also there are a ton more weird diseases that'll kill you at 60. Like, what? Like, why is this person even infirmed? It doesn't make sense. There's not a lot of, again, why is Barkley there? Cool new station, bro. But like the rest of it doesn't make sense.
And then there's the girl.
Maud.
So now there's this.
And then there's Maud. Deanna Troy and Reginald Barkley. And then there's Maud.
I really hated this episode because I really like Picardo, and I really like the way he defended Academy, and he defended the ideas of what they were trying to present. So to have this early rendition of an actor who years later defends the newest incarnation of Star Trek, sort of play grumpy man with grumpy EMS, and Deanna eats ice cream. To me, it's as insulting to the actor as the previous episode with Jennifer Ling. That's just insulting. And sort of like the whole thing is kind of performative. I know Joanne doesn't like the word filler, but it really felt like a filler, not very superficial.
Shall we show our thumbs for Lifeline? I may have sound effected prematurely. Okay, let's sit down. Thanks, guys. Season 6, episode 25, The Haunting of Deck 12. Neelix tells the ship's children a ghost story about an electromagnetic life force that holds Voyager hostage while trying to make contact with Janeway. Siren.
It's scary times for the Voyager crew, but none more so than the orphaned and appropriated children comprising Seven's regeneration childcare facility, as Neelix forgoes Mother Goose in favor of scary nebula alien campfire stories. Tuvok accurately identifies both Harry and Opie as overgrown adolescents, offers the wisdom inherent beneficial drapes to scary times, and Janeway proves again her disturbing comfort with sacrificing her life in exchange for the lives of her crew. Few lessons were learned here, but I like to imagine the alien in the nebula is the same as the jelly space babies Metalis squeezed out of his very own space vagina in Picard.
I will somehow try to follow that by sharing that The thing that I actually enjoy about this episode is that it would have been better on TNG if TNG had leaned into its original premise of being a show, or being a show about a ship filled with children. The idea that there are more children-related stories on Voyager that was never supposed to have children on it to begin with than TNG, whose one of its opening scenes is kids running to, through the saucer during the evacuation. Like the idea that there were families on this ship, and this ship was so big, and lots of kids, and there were schools, and Wesley was a main character, and all of the kidding of TNG that was abandoned by mid-season 1. I love a ghost story. I love the idea again of Neelix being responsible for children, despite the restraining order that Will referenced earlier.
Not a restraining order. That dude's on a list.
and his association with lists. There's nothing wrong with this episode conceptually. It's just the execution is weird, because it's, why is this taking place on Voyager? I get very frustrated with every main character on TNG was either an only child, or like had lost a parent, or like they were so alone, and the 7 of them ended up being so closely bonded on a ship of 1,000 people. And then we get these very loosely connected kids that no one fucking cares about on Voyager, a ship of 150. It feels weird. It's disjointed. I love a good ghost story. I love a good horror Trek hybrid. This one's just kind of fucking weird. I don't hate it. I'm annoyed in the larger Trek landscape that it didn't happen elsewhere. But Ethan does a fairly decent job. Any other thoughts?
It's curious to me that they seem to willfully forget that Borg children are smarter than all the other children. So, like,
yeah,
this is happening, but you don't think they're adult enough to actually be told that this kind of thing is happening.
Also, maybe don't sit kids around a campfire and tell them ghost stories when they were literally the victims of abduction.
Well, and also when Neelix is like, and I was in the mess hall and it was pitch dark, except for the car-sized flaming wok that was in the middle of it. None of it made sense.
That I used to make 4 meals a day for 150 people.
Exactly. Yeah. The fire's never gone, but there's no light coming off that fire.
I wanted to reaffirm with Joanne's final thumbs down. Like there was I needed it to happen before I rated that one. Last but not least, season 6, episode 26, Unimatrix 0. Janeway and 7 of 9 act to install independent thought into the Borg collective when an enclave of drones reaches a dream fantasy state that weakens it. Siren?
I'm sorry, I want to interject real quick. That is perhaps the worst synopsis.
Don't get ahead of yourself. We haven't done TOS Thumb War. We haven't finished season 7. It's going to get worse.
But true. But like none of that was correct. Like it was factually inaccurate.
Factually?
Yes.
Were you robbed of a benefactress badge? Like, what just happened?
Krista, take it away, please.
Oh, hey, it's the Borg. Surprise. Surprise. It's 7 saving everything and everyone with her super not human, not Borg, human Borgness. Dream Boy is hot and compelling. Borg Queen serves collective cunt. And it's a 2-parter, so likely there will be 2 parts. Janeway and 7, Annika 7, party with Tuvok in a risky mind meld that reminds Chipotle of that time he had the shivers. The Borg Queen alerts the HOA president, and Janeway fucks shit up with mad batleth skills while screaming in her best Scottish accent, "Freedom!" The crew embark on a mad plan. 7 snogged a Dream Boy in the dark, and whoopsie daisies, they're assimilated and bald. Or are they? Stay tuned.
William, bring us home.
Oh God. Okay. This is like the moment where the Borg are no longer threatening, because like they've been losing their kind of mystique as we've learned more about them, and like we get some interesting stuff about the post trauma of being a Borg and like species interaction with it. But this is like the Borg kind of looking inward and being like, oh, they're just fucked up like the rest of us. They have this thing, this Unimatrix Unimatrix Zero that no one knows about, and like it just proves that the Borg Queen is like fucking stupid. Like there's so many things that are like conveniences of this episode that a creature, something that is the hive mind of a collective of people, would not notice there's two people on her Borg cube that she's not able to hear. Like she should be able to hear their thoughts. Like there's so many things that happen in these two partners that don't make any sense, and like it's just another way for us to talk about the Borg and have a Borg-centered episode that ends the season. But like, the love story's not interesting. The stuff with Seven and the Borg Queen is the most interesting stuff. Like that kind of weird triangle that they developed between the Janeway, the Queen, and Seven. It's interesting, but we don't know why the Queen is obsessed with Seven. So like, there's like this thing that's happening in this episode that doesn't get resolved that I think it would resolve with them scissoring. But like this episode is great because like I like the battle-y shit, the shippy stuff is fun. Whatever, we see a Borg tactical cube, which is like a whole other situation. But like I think as a contrivance of this, I think is when the Borg becomes no longer threatening. Not in that like as a story element, because the more we learn about them, the less they're interesting. Because instead of them just being the thing that would make them the scariest is if they were just this nameless, faceless force that just only wanted your technology, that had no interest in you as an individual. We're not the assimilation is a byproduct where they're like, we only crave knowledge and perfection, and then that's it. Like, that's fucking terrifying. Like, we're literally dealing with these fucking pasty billionaires who literally they're talking about the end of humanity because they're building data centers in fucking Kentucky. And I'm like, what the fuck is happening? So, like, that's what's terrifying about them. And what we learned that they have the same troubles as us, it's like, they wouldn't. They would have figured this out generations ago. They would have squashed this rebellion generations ago. This would not have happened. Like, the Borg would not have let this go through. I just, on principle, is like a species, the more, like, it's annoying. Like, as a 7 episode, it falls flat. As a romance for 7, it's flaccid. It's just everything across the board. This episode is just a vehicle for us to have Voyager fight a cube. That's it. The idea that they've created this rebellion with inside of the collective is false because it's gone by the end of this. And do you not think that the Queen would have taken every opportunity to reassimilate every Borg on her ships? Like, there's no way these people survived. Like if you look at anything that would have happened within this episode, this was for nothing. And if that was what the episode ended up being, this two-parter would have been that this fight that they had was for nothing because she's going to find us, is interesting. But like, that's not what it is. They're creating this thing. Oh, the Borg are collapsing in on themselves. That's not really true. It wouldn't have happened. So like, I don't know. I found myself really wanting at the end of this because I find that Voyager, unfortunately, kind of ruined the Borg.
The only way to
did.
Yes.
Yeah, the only way to save this episode is to, and we won't go into detail because Krista hasn't seen it, but would be to reference this and make it a critical part of Endgame. To tie this in somehow the next time there's a conflict with the Borg would have been the only way. But to me, the existence of Unimatrix Zero is not the problem. To me, the problem is much more superficial. It's the idea that there's a tactical drone that there's a tactical cube, that there's a sphere that does the thing. Like, why are there so many types of ships? Who the fuck cares? It's the Borg. They're there to assimilate and acquire. Like, what? They don't have different types of ships. Like, I get it. We introduced the sphere in First Contact. We got to run with it. Occasionally, there's a sphere versus a cube. But, like, classifying what type of cube it is, the Borg don't fucking care. They're not there to do battle versus engage in assimilation. They're there to assimilate. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
So why are we calling them different things? It's dumb.
It's more terrifying that their ships are the same. Like when we saw the Borg again in Best of Both Worlds, they said we can't distinguish whether this was the same cube we saw
the
in
same
the Delta
dimensions at J25.
Yes, it's J25. It's exactly the same. That's terrifying. We're like, did we fight this? We don't know. It is exactly the same. They release these cubes. It's like they. I think also the introduction of the Borg Queen is very. They would adapt. Like eventually, they'd be like, okay, they would realize that the Federation Starfleet is their greatest threat, whatever, and they would start to. You would see that the idea of individuality start to infect the Borg as they try to adapt to fight the Federation. But like that's not how this is. It's not like discussed as them. Kind of the Borg through like kind of going full circle, and their search for perfection and technology kind of come out and go, oh, we have to be individuals to reach perfection. Like that kind of idea that they went full circle with their ideas and kind of end on the other side. It's not what happens. It's just, this episode's strange because it's like, this wouldn't have happened. I don't see this happening in a collective that's this tight and this ancient and powerful and kind of like it's weird. I just think as a whole, as a storytelling thing, it just is very thin.
And what a missed opportunity with the kids that we just talked about that were on the show. Like you've got several recently freed Borg. Are they terrified?
Yeah.
Are they interested? Are they in the episode? Like, and the answer to all of those questions is apparently no.
Right.
Well, the teleplay is in part by Brandon Braga. So, in a surprise to no one,
It's all about him sitting in his cuck chair watching someone make out with Jerry. Yes.
And this episode ends with Best of Both Worlds. But now three of our crew are assimilated. So it's even bigger and better. It's like it's very little boy trying to impress his mommy. Like, oh, you guys assimilated the captain. I'll assimilate the captain and the security officer and the engineer. Like,
and it's like fucking water off a duck's back. Like Picard suffers the trauma of that for years and years and years after. And nothing for these three.
They're
and they're like fully assimilated.
Spoiler alert, Janeway has back pain next season.
Yeah.
Like they're fully assimilated too. It wasn't like they were just like, oh, on the ship, they got beamed on and then they were like with it like the same as Picard. Like they weren't a part of the hive, but they were like tortured. And then they're just like, cool, we got to find this terminal. And it's like, what the fuck? Like it misses everywhere. And it's kind of frustrating, to be honest.
Because there's an opportunity there to talk about like their willingness to go through that to save these people. Like that's quintessential Starfleet, but hit and a miss. Let's show our thumbs, shall we?
Still some cool shit, man.
The ship kind of saves it for me, unfortunately.
It could have been a regular cube, but yes, it did look really fun.
Or a Borg pyramid. I don't give a fuck. Like, give me a different shape. But
give us the whole UPN.
Like, why didn't we send a tactical cube to attempt to assimilate Earth? Like, I don't understand why there are different cubes. Anyway, sorry.
Listen, in 2 weeks, I am going to go on that exact rant about that.
Listen,
shit pisses me off.
This isn't my line, but Stan, blue alert. For the ass end of season 6, there were 6. No, there weren't. There were 3 thumbs ups. There were 5 thumbs sidewayses, and there were 5 thumbs downs. So we skewed a little more positive, but we were pretty critical of the ass end. There were 3 problematic gay alerts. There were we fucked Rick Berman 3 times. Hole saved us twice. Stan landed a segue once, but it was in the pre-show, but it still counts. And Joanne took us to church 1 time. I gave 1 million bonus points to Joanne for slaying. I gave 1 million bonus points to Krista for turning off Hertz vacuum. I gave 500 bonus points to Benji for sex positivity with harnesses. I gave 500 bonus points to Will for sucking it. I gave 250 bonus points to Matt in absentia for trashing the Styrish. And last but not least, I gave 10 bonus points to the set of The Good Place for crashing the party.
You really need to get rid of that thing.
Well, not a chance.
Never.
We'll throw it into a transwarp corridor and send it everywhere.
Over my dead body.
Makes my feelings hurt.
Y'all, we did it. End of season 6. Thank you to those of us who remained in the chat for this long. This was a good long one. We will be back on Monday, Will and I, for another Salon Unknown. We've gone 2 whole weeks without killing a character. Let's see if we can do it. Not for a lack of trying. We did try to kill both Kim and Chakotay.
Failed.
And we will be back next Thursday to begin season 7 of Star Trek Voyager. Trevor, anything I'm missing?
No, girl, you got it.
Well, then, bye, everybody. Live long and prosper. Like and subscribe, comment on things, please. Thanks. Bye.
All hands abandon ship. Proceed to the nearest evacuation zone immediately.